Would an old expired domain with 3M backlinks still have SEO value? 3 million backlinks? That's possible?
Bigger sites like Google size sites, billions of backlinks.
Wow.
Billions of sites linked to them. If only we could have that many.
We should just get more backlinks.
That's what people think. It's a dangerous game.
Why? What are the threats?
That they're not good. And if you have spam pointing to your site, it actually hurts you more than if you just didn't have any.
Interesting topic. I learned about this a little bit when I was in college learning about SEO. You can do a little bit of, is it black hat or gray hat, where you can point bad links to other sites that you want to derank?
I mean, you can. I don't think it works really well anymore. People used to try that on us all the time. It's kind of a messed up thing to do if you think about it, but you can just disavow them is what it's called. You send a disavow report to Google and they'll just ignore those links.
Really?
So the money people spend is just down the toilet. Yeah, Google created that because it was just a problem that they couldn't fix, but they've like buried the tool. So you really have to actually know it exists and know how to do it to find it, because it's not really easy to find.
How would you even go about that? Is it like a spam? Are there spam directories? And you fill out their information on directories or what?
There's some just directories out there with very low domain authority that are just known for being crap. They link to bad sites. They have like malicious assets on them, things like that.
And you can buy anything on Fiverr. So you go on Fiverr and you're like, get 100,000 links to this site for $10. Like, you know they're gonna be bad.
Don't do that, by the way. I was just curious.
That's a terrible thing to do. But yeah, if you have spam links and you want to get rid of them, you just go to Google Search Console and then in the console just search for disavow tool, and then you'll just add a text file with all the links in it. And it'll work. It's good.
So I believe this was a Zach question that you picked. Why did you pick this question, Zach?
Because it was one of the 3 good questions that were on there in the last 2 weeks.
So what would your answer be to this?
It depends. How old is the domain? How old are the backlinks going to it? There's a lot of times where like you can have that many backlinks, but they're all garbage and they don't even exist anymore. They could just be, sometimes like if you go through like a really low cost backlinking service, they'll just generate a ton of just like low quality ones that they'll get put up in time for you to see them, but they won't stay up forever. They'll just die, they'll get taken down, especially if it's like a social media or a blog site that they build them on. Quantity isn't everything when it comes to backlinks. We talked about that a little bit last week, but it's like you want to make sure they're good backlinks and you want to make sure that the domain has like a good, healthy profile. It's like if it's a old domain and it's got a ton of backlinks to it, but it doesn't rank well, it's not really going to do you any favors. But if it still like has like a good, healthy profile, if it still comes up in search and hasn't been de-indexed, then yeah, go for it.
It says it has a DR of 87. What does that mean? What's a DR?
Absolutely nothing.
It's a domain rating, but that's easy to manipulate now.
It's not really a good measuring stick by any means, like as of the last 5 or 6 years.
You really just have to investigate further. A one metric like that, like 3 million backlinks. Okay, cool. What else? Right.
So this guy, he said, I found an old expired domain that is sort of cheap. So he's like,
if you can pick it up for $12, I mean, why not?
What would be a way for somebody to investigate further if they're in a similar situation? What would be a good way to like a good metric that they could see?
Just search that domain with quotes, see what comes up.
Yeah, because if Google sees any value to it, you're still going to find, and if it has 3 million backlinks, there should be 100,000 results with it. But if they do a search and there's like 2 pages on Google, then it's not worth anything. There is I don't do this anymore just because there's not that much value in it with AI results. But we used to kind of scour the interwebs for expiring sites that essentially was like some kind of organization. So we used to actually own this domain. It was like Bedbug Tracker, and it had been around for, at that point, for 15 years and had a ton of backlinks, but it also just had all these blog articles about bed bugs, and it got a few thousand hits a month. And I think what happened is things happen, but whoever owned it probably just died and the kids didn't have access to their account, so they didn't know anything about it. So I bought the domain, looked at the Wayback Machine, got all the content, put it back up, and then I just threw ads on it. But I was making like $2 a month off the ads.
Yeah.
So it's not really it wasn't really worth the effort for the return, on the investment. Like it maybe paid for the domain name.
But if you did it 1,000 times.
If you did it 1,000 times, it might be okay, right? So anyhow, there's things like that you can do where you can watch auctions for domains that actually been around a while, and just whatever happened, and the person loses the domain. And I made a couple friends that way because there were some big ones that expired. Which one was the biggest one? It wasn't Tommy Bahama. There was one like that size, and I bought it, and then I just reached out because the rights holder was like NBC, and I just said, hey, you let this expire, and they were like, oh crap.
Yeah.
How much are you gonna charge us? I was like, just pay me what I paid for it. I paid a couple $100 for it. They were pretty great. I forgot what they did. I think they sent me more money just as a thank you, you know.
That's nice.
But it was like I totally could have just been like,
yeah. How come you were so altruistic?
I don't know. I've never felt good about making money off of people's bad luck. I feel like that's messed up.
There was that one guy that ended up somehow buying Google.com for about 15 minutes.
What?
That he found some weird loophole where he was able to acquire the domain and bought it for just like the standard like $12-15 or whatever. And he owned it for a couple minutes, and then I think he was the one that made them aware of it. He's like, hey, I just bought your domain, and they gave him like an odd amount of money. It was like 60 grand or something for it. It ended up basically the numbers spell out Google, but they did it to be nice to him because they could have clawed the domain back through the ICANN registry or whatever the rules are there.
Sometimes you'll find stuff like that, and it's like, why is this expired? Just buy it.
A little side hustle for you guys if you're ever interested.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are like, why would you do that? Demand more. And I'm like,